Welcome to the channel, guys. I'm here at Brooklands Museum of Aviation and Transport, and let's have a little look around at this very historical racetrack, airfield and iconic museum. So I'll see you there. This aircraft is iconic. This is a Blériot 11, and this was the first aircraft, well, this one is a replica, that crossed the English Channel. Very nice indeed. You know, what's incredible is the aircraft which I just mentioned, the Blériot, which crossed the Channel in 1909, came just 6 years after the first, shall we say, manned-powered flight, which was happened in 1903 with the Wright brothers. So in just 6 years, we've gone from, you know, flying 30, 40 feet to crossing the English Channel in a powered aircraft. This aircraft here is actually a Vickers Wellington that crashed into Loch Ness and was recovered in 1985. What brilliant condition it's in. Here we have quite a range of engines. We've got a Rolls-Royce on the left in an inline or V format. Here we have a radial engine which spins extremely fast. You can see the way the cylinders are. Here we have, looks like a turboprop on this one here, and obviously a ginormous jet engine over here. So it just shows the history and the evolution of engine design. Now we have a very early prototype Sea Harrier. So it's a slightly different design to the current Harrier, but this is slightly smaller and a lot more interesting. Very old drawing desks designing an aircraft design. That's what this whole hangar is about, aircraft design. Here's that Sea Harrier from a little bit of a different angle. Just look at how different it is from the Sea Harrier they have today. Quite a few similarities, but quite a few differences as well. As I said earlier about the early history of flight, from the first Wright brothers flight in 1903 to the first crossing of the Channel, the Harrier was only built 50 years after the first ever flight in 1903. In the 60s, we were building VTOL jets. How history has gone so fast. The evolution of flight has gone so fast. Let's move over to the next hangar. Walking around this shed, I'm just looking at, you know, the old tools that people did, the drawings, how they used to do everything by hand and printing, and it's quite incredible how these aircraft were built. You know, they were really, really well designed. Many people put a lot of work into it. Here's some of the aircraft behind me. There's the Wellington over there. We've got the Harrier on the left as well. Just think the amount of hours they've put in to design these. They didn't have special aerodynamic techniques and modeling and so on. They've just put things together, and it's incredible. It really, really is incredible.
And lower yourself down, please, to the two base plates. There's plenty of time, there is no hurry. And if you would like to extend your feet to the base, the pedals at the end, there you work your rudder, and your rudder at the back turns you left and right. Very speedy. This is a relatively early model. The later models had the extended wings, left and right. They made them highly manoeuvrable. We had two.
Oh, this is really cool. Really cool.
Wonderful. That's historical.
There's the Hawker Hunter we've just sat in. This was the RAF's first jet-powered fighter jet in the 1950s. So I hope you guys enjoyed the sitting in the Hunter and the little introduction from one of the museum volunteers here. It really is incredible to see that these things are still here and still showing a lot of life in them. Brooklands School of Flying Limited, G-Reg, in this lovely Avro 504K. Here we have another Hawker Harrier, and look at the reg. G VTOL Golf Victor Tango Oscar Lima. That is incredible. Just look at those jets falling down like that. Very incredible. That's incredible. Here we are entering the fuselage of the Vickers Wellington. And just look at that. You gotta mind your head. And there we are. Just look at that. Maybe people back then were a bit smaller than I am. But I'm just about getting through. So this is a single pilot seat over here. And a load of very, very basic analog gauges. Moving backwards. This looks like radio operator. All the different radio gauges, very, very rudimentary at the time, with a Morse code. Moving further back, we have the navigator's position with his map and his very basic scope to look down and do some navigation. And if we carry on to the rear, which we don't have here, we actually have the tail gunner's position and a folding down bed over here. Remember, these people used to sometimes go on 8 or 9 hour raids, so they'll have to take turns having naps. Anyone recognise this design? This is a Hawker T1, the same one that the Red Arrows use, next to some very early looking model. Probably early 1900s, with bicycle wheels. Here we have two aircraft, which are very early, 1909 and 1910. And these are, well, this one's still flying today. Just look at the little seat that this person sits on, a little net seat, and sticks his head out the top with a tiny little engine that probably only lasts 15-20 minutes. And then just to the left of it, just look at the design of those wings, very similar to a bird. Quite similar to Leonardo da Vinci's wings. And the gentleman was just telling me, again with the tiny little fuel tank on the top here, you only get 15 miles out of it, 1,000 feet. And by using the little stick at the rear, that's how he controls his wings and the little wheel for the elevator at the rear. So this aircraft, the Hawker Harrier, actually took place in the greatest aviation race of all time, the transatlantic London to New York race. So just behind me we saw the Hawker Harrier again. There's quite a few here, and what's quite incredible is this little exhibition here was talking about the Harrier's success in its London to New York race. So they did a transatlantic race, all different air forces and air manufacturers decided to take part. And so the RAF put in the Hawker Harrier, and most people had to obviously go for a little bit of drive to the nearest airport to take off and then fly to New York. But because obviously the Harrier was a VTOL, instead what it did is it had a short drive from the post office tower, now known as the BT Tower in London, to St Pancras, where it took off vertically up in the air, and it won the race all the way to New York. So what an incredible aircraft, and what an incredible time for aviation. We are at the BAC 111 at the rear, just looking at the T-tail, the two engines and the steps up. Let's have a quick look inside this iconic aircraft. You don't normally have stairs at the back. Wow. Very classic indeed.
Hello there.
Hello, sir. Seat 1A, please. Look how complicated that is. Well, does anyone want a coffee, a tea? What an awesome aircraft. Wow. Tickets, please.
Thank you.
Tickets.
Thank you very much. Any more fares, please?
Your first time here?
Yeah, yeah.
It's been amazing. Shades of no feet.
Very early passenger aircraft here. British Air Ferries. Wow. Just look at that. Look how large the windows are. They are incredibly large. Oh, that's lovely. Ding. Orange juice and peanuts, please. Thank you. Ding. And look at this, the Vickers Viking. Wow. So this is quite an old design because obviously you've got your tail wheel design, but this one obviously was part of BAE. And looking in the picture, built in 1946, this one was part of the Indian National Airways and the British European Airway. What an incredible design. 1946 people were taking these, flying all around the world. Wow. Well guys, here we're sitting just under the aircraft on this lovely bench, and we are doing our same plan we always do. Lovely fresh tea, lovely pastries, dates, nuts, fruits, and we are having a lovely party. Let's have a little closer look. Would you look at that? Wow, you couldn't have asked for anything better. Fresh tea, fresh pastries, beautiful aircraft and beautiful people.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you. That'll do. Nicely. The sauce is very good. It kept it hot.
Amen.
You must know that every Muslim is the brother of every other Muslim, and all Muslims are brothers one of another. Between Muslims there are no races and no tribes. Nor must you take anything from your brother except what is given freely. Do not oppress, and do not be oppressed.
So a little bit of a detour from what I usually do, more about aviation and aircraft. And just behind me I've got the London Bus Museum. So why not look at some buses? Who doesn't like an old bus? And just ahead of me I'm looking at a beautiful, lovely racing green London Routemaster. The old London Routemaster. Look at that, the Routemaster and the Concorde. Wow. And we have the London Routemaster. Welcome to the London Bus Museum. We have one of the first buses. Before we had the number 18s, we had the omnibuses. These were horse-drawn and could carry only a few people on the top and on the bottom. And look at this one. Clapham to Brixton from the Andrew Starr Omnibus Company. There we are. Andrew Starr Omnibus Company. Office was in New Kent Road, and there's the old prices. Camberwell Green to Loughborough Junction. Probably 1 pence and 2 pence. You can go from Loughborough Junction to Brixton Church for ½ pence. Wow. Modern bus, built by the one and only BYD, Build Your Dreams. And this one is obviously fully electric. So let's have a quick look on board. You're probably on these ones day to day. And have a look at the early buses. Electric only buses, 1907, trolley buses, 1952. And here we are. Battery storage, transformers and switching. Let me off the bloody bus. And look at this one, London Transport. This one's going to Amersham, near my airfield. And let's go on. You know what I think? We will go upstairs, have a little look upstairs. Very tight entrance, low roof. Wow. Would you look at that? What an incredible bus. I love the seating as well. Very interesting design. And obviously, the front is the best part of the bus. We've got our front seat. It's a bit wobbly, but we'll get there. And look at the view from outside the front. What an awesome view. Well, back in the day, they didn't have to care about legroom. Look at that. Oh, that's lovely. Even in the other seats, legroom is very good. Well, I hope you guys like this short video. I actually didn't explore too much of the museum itself, just the main aircraft hangars and the bus museum. There's so much more to see if you like the history of motorsport and car racing and Grand Prix. I really highly recommend visiting this museum. I paid £25 for the ticket, but it's well worth it, trust me. The history they have here and the volunteers do a very hard work of not only guiding you but restoring all the cars and the aircraft here. This short visit was just a bit of a recce because I'm bringing the kids from my flying club here next week. So having a look around, seeing what there is, and ultimately imparting the history of aviation to the next generation. So I will see you in the next video. Chunky Captain out.